Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are having an amazing morning, evening, afternoon, twilight, midday snack. I have no idea what time it is for you, but I hope that time is fabulous. Hello, it's me, Sabrina Scott, and welcome to my podcast, the Secrets of a Witch podcast, where I talk all about life, love, healing, spirituality, tarot, witchcraft, and just all the things. Because it's okay to be all the things in this world. We don't have to pick. So, first of all, thank you for being a listener. Thank you for being awesome. And of course, happy full moon. We are just beginning the full moon vibes. Today's episode is not going to be about the full moon. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But I just wanted to acknowledge that we are stepping into that energy right now, and I hope you are loving it, or at least noticing it, feeling it, and just taking a moment to breathe. So today's episode is going to be a short one, because that's what I'm in the mood to do right now. And this episode is simple. And it is called It's Okay If No One Else Gets You. It's okay if no one else gets you. It's okay if you have a hard time relating to most people. It's okay if you don't really want to be friends with most people that you meet. It's okay if you don't vibe with most people that you meet, and most people that you meet don't vibe with you. It's okay to be yourself. And one thing you might notice in your life is that the more you lean into who you really are, the more you lean into being you, the more you lean into allowing the fullness of who you are in your core, in your spirit, in your soul, the more you connect with that, know who and what that is, the more you allow that to come out and play, the more you reveal that to the world. At first, it's true. You might end up feeling really alone. You might feel really alienated. You might feel like no one fucking gets you. And to be honest, most of the time, I feel like that. Right? Other than in my business. So, to find people that really get me, to find people in en masse that get what I'm trying to say, people that resonate with my messages, my teachings, my musings, my ramblings, my rants. I started speaking into the void on Instagram like a decade ago or something. And slowly but surely, people were like, you know what, I dig it. And I've changed a lot over the years, and I've also stayed the same in other ways over the years. And some folks have stuck around, some folks have left, new folks have entered the space. And you know what? The moments in my life that I have felt most understood, like outside of a work context, if I think back at it, and I'm being honest with myself, which I always strive to be, the times that I was the most surrounded by people and in community, face-to-face, in person, are the times when I was most disconnected from myself and who I really was and am. And so I think a lot of people fall into this trap, and I don't think it's either or. I don't think we have to choose between community and self-actualization. But when our community is based on us not fully being who we are, it is totally true that at first it might feel a little bit like alienating. It might feel a little bit alone when we step away from making our connections based on what we think other people want us to be. And oftentimes I think we do this without meaning to. We do this without being aware of what we're doing. It's just second nature for a lot of folks because belonging is a human survival mechanism, right? We are social animals as humans, and we've learned to do what we need to do in order to create kinship and form relationships and stay in the group and be in like the accepted belonging mode. But what I've learned is that sometimes belonging isn't worth it. Sometimes when we belong and that belonging is predicated on us being someone that we're not, or pretending to have values that we don't have, or it's just based on us towing the party line, is that really a belonging worth having? Is that really true belonging? And so a lot of the time, folks like stay with these, groups, whatever that happens to be, whether it's community, family, friendships, like love relationships, whatever. People stay in these situations out of obligation, and I think also out of fear, like a fear of taking that leap, a fear of being alone, a fear of like not knowing what other type of life could even exist on the other side of that jump. But as someone who has taken that jump like more times than I can count, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's always worth it. Even if it's lonely at the start, and even if it feels like no one else fucking gets you, and that no one else ever will. Because people will, and it might show up in surprising ways. Like for me, it showed up in my work and in the way I show up online, rather than, finding that in-person community of like 20 witchy people. Like, because what I've found in person, and this is like another tangent, but just because you have the same interests as somebody doesn't mean that you're going to get along. Just because you're both witches, it doesn't mean that you're going to like each other. Just because, you're both doing a PhD doesn't mean you have anything to fucking talk about. Because real connections, at least as far as I'm concerned, are based on values. It's based on ethics. It's based on morals. It's based on what's important to you. Right? And I think when we're younger, a lot of our friendships are based on proximity. Those people just happen to be around. Or it's based on common interests, like you both like video games or whatever. And I think oftentimes, like when we take a deeper look at some of those old connections that we might have made in our earlier years, we might kind of see, oh, like I don't actually have fucking anything in common with this person. Or like this person's value system is like really gross to me, and I'm making excuses for them because I've known them forever, but it doesn't really feel good anymore. And I think a lot of folks resist these shifts that can be seismic. It can feel like an earthquake. It can feel like a death. And if I'm going to bring the tarot into this, these leaps are the Tower card moments. The other name for the Tower is the act of God, the hand of God. And what that means is this external force shaking things up. And I think a lot of us resist that because it's scary. But on the other side of the tarot card, the Tower, is the Star, which is one of the best cards in the deck. And it's all about, surprise, surprise, self-actualization. It's about being us, being lit up by who we are, and having that courage to shine that lighthouse, that beacon of light very brightly. And by us being us, we attract others who are real in the ways that we are. Others who have the same values that we do, the same ways of moving. Ways of moving that are at least aligned rather than in conflict. And so it's okay if no one gets you right now. That won't be forever. And if you are tempted to silence parts of yourself because you think that that's what makes you unlikable, well, if you're like a shitty person, or if you have a lot of trauma that causes you to act like a psycho or make bad choices, go to therapy. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of therapy. I think actually fucking everyone should go to therapy. And I just said that last little bit, not to make anyone feel bad, but to say, yeah, sometimes the problem is you. But that's actually not what this episode is about. So I'm going to go back on topic. Sometimes the problem is you, but that's not really what this episode is about. This episode is not about people not liking you because you're a dick. This episode is about people not really getting you because you're stepping into your fuller, more authentic self. And that means that all of those stories that whoever has been in your life up until this point told themselves and told you about who you are and who they are, that has to change because those scripts are being challenged and rewritten. And when we rewrite the script of who we are in public, in relation to other people, that can result in loss. And sometimes people will grow with us. And I love to see that happen. It's like so great. But that won't always happen. And sometimes it does result in being alone for a little while. Sometimes that can be years. But it's always worth it to stay true to you and belonging that is based on you hiding who you are. Is that something that you really want? And is that something that you're doing because you believe that no other way is possible? Reflect on that. If there are any parts of you that you've been hiding from the world, I encourage you to share that with someone this week. Be courageous. Let that side of you be shown and accepted to someone else. Even if that's on an anonymous internet forum, just give it a try. Try it on for size, see what happens. That's it for this week, my beautiful friends. Well, not this week. For today. But that is my homework for you this week. I don't think I'm going to give you guys homework in any other episodes this week. We'll see. But one thing I wanted to throw out there, just as we close off for now, is I've been dreaming for the past year about launching a course on feminine energy, how to be a confident woman in touch with feminine energy, because I think so many women have learned that feminine energy is dangerous, that it makes us vulnerable, and that the only way to live confidently and safely is to be aggressive and defensive. And, I've been there. I definitely used to be that way. I used to move that way for sure. But it didn't work. And I've learned a lot over the years, and I just feel compelled to begin to teach on this in public. And so if that's something that you're curious to hear more about, or if that's an area of your life that you are interested to explore, I would love to hear from you just about what your challenges are, what you're going through, where you want to be. You can email me that stuff at ceo@sabrinamscott.com. I would love to hear from you. And of course, a friendly reminder to sign up for Magic May at sabrinamscott.com/Magic May. It's going to be fucking awesome. I'm sure you guys already know what I'm talking about. I just did an episode about it a few days ago. Listen to that. If you haven't already, it gives all the details. All right, beautiful people. All right. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.